It started with a body just before dawn on a stretch of barren land that divided the United States from Mexico. A rancher named Javier Sáenz spotted something unusual near his property's southern fence. From a distance, it looked like a discarded scarecrow. Up close, it was far worse. A man, face down in the sand, blood dried around his ears and nose. The skin was pale, almost gray. A vulture circled, cautious but curious. The face was unmistakable. Raúl El Coyote Morales, Cartel enforcer, torturer, killer. He'd vanished 7 days ago after a DEA raid outside Nogales. Official reports stated he was in federal custody, awaiting transfer to a black site facility in Texas. Now, he was dead. Again. Except he wasn't. 12 hours after Sáenz reported the body, surveillance footage surfaced. From a secure ICE facility, time-stamped nearly half a day after the coroner ruled Morales dead, the camera showed him calmly walking out the front gate, unaccompanied, confident, dressed in clean civilian clothes. He flashed credentials at the guard desk and vanished into the early morning light. That's when the call went out for Marshal Cade Alvarez. Alvarez had a reputation for chasing ghosts, fugitives who vanished into the shadows, identities scrubbed clean, paper trails burned. He wasn't just good, he was obsessed. 20 years with the Marshal Service, and he'd never let a target go. But after a botched raid that left 2 civilians dead, Alvarez was reassigned to desk duty, his badge half polished, his soul even less so. He didn't want the case until he saw the footage. Something about Morales' expression, the calm, the smirk, twisted Alvarez's gut. It wasn't just a man escaping custody. It was a message. His first stop was the morgue. The body recovered on the border was decayed just enough to avoid clarity, but the DNA was a perfect match. Too perfect. The cartilage in the ears didn't match up. The dental record was off by 2 molars. Tattoos on the body appeared fresh, almost printed. The coroner was nervous. He'd seen strange bodies before, but never like this. No fingerprints, no scars, no calluses. A copy. Alvarez needed someone who understood the dark web of cartel information laundering. That brought him to Sofía Rivas, an exiled journalist turned digital sleuth, whose articles on La Frontera Libre were banned in both the U.S. and Mexico for exposing cross-border corruption. She wore combat boots, carried 3 phones, and hadn't slept a full night in 5 years. Rivas had been following whispers of a cartel tech alliance known as La Cosecha, the harvest. It wasn't drugs they were moving, it was data, memories, neural templates, brains harvested like crops and repurposed. She believed the cartel was selling access to blanked human templates for covert ops, customizable ghosts. And Morales? He was the prototype. Alvarez and Rivas headed south, tracing Morales' last known contacts through a line of silenced witnesses. A smuggler found with his face peeled off. A nurse at a Tijuana clinic missing all 10 fingers. A computer engineer who overdosed on his own product, memory enhancement nanodrugs. Each corpse was a breadcrumb. Each breadcrumb led to a new horror. As they moved deeper into Sonora, they discovered a black market exchange system for human identities. Clients included government black ops, international mercenaries, even entertainment moguls. They weren't just erasing people, they were recycling them. Their journey led them to a place called Site 17, a non-existent facility buried under fake oil fields, hidden from satellites and shielded by private security operating outside any known jurisdiction. It was funded by Veritas Nexus, a defense contractor specializing in neural reallocation technologies. Inside Site 17, Alvarez and Rivas uncovered hundreds of cryogenic chambers. Each held a body suspended in ice, their brains mapped, memories stored on neural drives. Morales was one of many. Each one was a data vault. Trauma, training, loyalties, extracted, edited, resold. Rivas found something worse. Her own name, her own memories. 10 years ago, she'd survived a massacre in Tijuana, or so she thought. Surveillance footage she'd never seen showed her shot in the head. The body was taken, preserved. The version of her standing in Site 17 was manufactured. She wasn't real, not fully. The mastermind was Dr. Hector Lane, a neuroscientist turned intelligence contractor, charming, meticulous, and psychotic. Lane believed memory was the only true asset left in war. Why spend billions training spies when you can upload loyalty? He asked. He offered Alvarez a deal. Disappear. Let it go. Take a new name, a new mind, and live. Lane even showed him a sample, Alvarez's own backup, created years ago during a required psychological evaluation. They could reboot him, erase his guilt, remove the ghosts. Alvarez declined with a bullet. As alarms blared, Rivas downloaded what she could. Dozens of names, victims, duplicates, high-value targets being groomed as neural mercenaries. The entire complex was wired to self-destruct in the event of breach. Someone had already triggered the countdown. They barely escaped through a maintenance tunnel as Site 17 burned. Epilogue. 2 weeks later, Alvarez mailed a USB drive to a journalist in Washington. The files were encrypted. The truth was buried in code, names, and medical jargon, enough to burn a hole through 3 governments. He turned in his badge the next day. Sofía Rivas disappeared again. The one on the drive may have died in 2014, but the one walking the world now had a mission. She would find the others like her, the harvested, the hollowed, and she would make La Cosecha bleed. As for Alvarez, he went back to the border, where ghosts didn't just cross illegally. They were made, built, programmed, and now hunted, because someone had to chase them, and Cade Alvarez was still the best at chasing ghosts.